onto the show. So today, our esteemed guest, Mr. Sanjay Sehgal, who is the chairman and CEO of MSys Technology, and he resides in Atlanta, is exactly where I am. And he is, good morning, Sanjay. How are you?
Morning, Praveen.
Thank you. So Sanjay ji comes from a very huge background. It's not only a CEO and chairman, he has a multifaceted person. He holds several hats like technology entrepreneur, global businessman, startup advisor, keynote speaker, philanthropist, heartful human, and also a meditation instruction and self-development enthusiastic. More than all, he is also, he has passion towards the heartfulness, how to focus on meditation. So let's hear more from Sanjay ji on today's topic. Today's topic would be how to prepare ourselves and business for present and future crisis. Especially during the pandemic, we have seen number of small business and also the huge companies have taken hit, and some of the industries are really doing well. And let's learn more experiences from our esteemed guest Sanjay ji. Sanjay ji, please welcome to the show and thank you so much for your time. We would love to learn from you all the experiences. Why don't you introduce more about yourself?
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Praveen. Well, I guess you said a lot of things about me already, so there's nothing more to add there. What I would like to share with all the listeners or viewers is that, every crisis, I mean, this is something I'm sure everybody has heard multiple times because we have been in this situation since March of this year, right? This is not something new, right? Now, but I think, again, a reminder of sorts, if you will, that let us make sure that we use this crisis as an opportunity. There's an old saying, let not a crisis go waste. So every crisis creates or comes with it, hidden inside it, of an opportunity. That is now for us to realize that. For us to realize that now it will keep extending. This crisis will keep extending till we realize it. This will, I had once mentioned in one of my, sessions that Corona has come to teach us something. It's like any crisis comes to teach us something. Till we learn, we will stay here. Once we learn, then we will not be bothered about it anyway. So I think it is for each one of us. So we can all be sitting here and saying, hey, kya ho gaya? What has happened? This is bad. This is not going away. This, that. Or we can take bull by the horns, take this opportunity, grow yourself materially, financially, emotionally, morally, and spiritually. These are the opportunities in all these areas that it has created for us, right?
Awesome. I think you rightly said Corona has taught many things. Sanjay ji, as a CEO and chairman, when you heard about this coronavirus, which is, after decades, we saw this kind of a giant virus which is disrupting the businesses, right? So typically the businesses always focus on what is my new customers, what are my revenues, what are my new products development. So in your company, what you have thought from February to now, it's almost like 8 to 9 months. Initial, what was your thought and what is the transition or transformation you have taken through this 8 months journey?
A very good question. See, I think when I was in India in February, in the month of February, I came back from there, and at that time we were talking about we have a record, low unemployment in US, right? Now, I still remember I visited my last customer, I think on March 6th in California, and I came back and then things had started kind of going, really upside down. I think it was 11th or 12th of March. That was the last business meeting I attended at Starbucks or somewhere outside, right? And that day and today we have not been gone doing all this stuff. And within few weeks of that, beginning of March till end of March, we had a record high unemployment. So it
Exactly.
took 3 weeks from record high, record low unemployment to record high unemployment. And I think the world didn't know. None of us knew anything. And everybody thought, oh, this summer will come, maybe this will kill this virus. Nobody had even any kind of, none of us had crystal ball to see that it's going to last forever or for this long, right? And I think at that point in time, we as a company, we do have a business continuity plan. Within a week, we kick that off so that, all the things that we are supposed to do as part of the process, they get taken care of. But I think the most important thing for us at that time was our employees,
Exactly.
because we are a product engineering services company. For us, employees are the most important, and there are some employees who are in US, some employees who are in New Zealand, Australia, even within India, some other places. So the first thing we did was we asked all the employees to start working from home. Don't put themselves at any kind of harm or risk by coming to the office. I think we were one of the first companies to do this, because even though India announced their lockdown towards the end of March, majority of our employees happen to be in India, but even those who are in US or in India, or as I said, in the other places, we asked everybody to go to their home base so that they are not at risk. So remember one guy was in New Zealand at that time, and he couldn't. New Zealand was the first to announce lockdown, so lockdown means you can't leave the country. So we made sure we take care of his family in Pune. He was visiting New Zealand from Pune. So we made sure our people, our employees, our HR and operations team is able to handle his children and his family, whatever essentials they needed and all that. So I think employees were the first priority for us. Second was that our clients. We wanted to, I actually myself set up all virtual meetings in the last few weeks of March and beginning of April, to make sure, first of all, we get to know about their business, how it is going, and second, tell them that we will be there to support you. I know at least one employee, without naming one client, without naming them, I will mention that they immediately switched their business to something else. We say, well, if you need any help from us, we'll be there for you. And if as you're switching, transitioning, if there is any monetarily help you need, meaning in terms of us not charging you or something, we'll support that too. Hopefully, when things become better, you will take care of us, right?
Awesome.
If we are able to take, and then of course the liquidity in the business, that is an essential thing. Every business, business is not a charity, right? So we
Exactly.
need to make sure that the business has enough cash, enough liquidity. So these were the three important things for us: employees, clients, and liquidity, that we took care of in the beginning. Now, since this is continuing, and where we are right now, we are now, I would say, a mature company, which is, which can handle these things, now in years to come. So we have made sure that all our offices, right, are set up in a way that employees can come only when they need to come. In fact, we think we are going to do this forever now, a hoteling option, that people don't need to come to the office. As long as they're able to be productive wherever they are, they don't need to come to the office. When they want to come to the office, they can book their space and they can come. And the operations team also don't need to come every day. They'll just all 1/3 every day, So we have made arrangements, though everybody is kind of working from home except for finance and operations. But most important in this has taxed the infrastructure to some degree, meaning some people don't have internet at home, good internet, or some people, their computers go bad. So we have established these hotlines, 24-hour hotlines within our company, that anybody has any problem with infrastructure, they can call that hotline and they'll see what they can do to help them, right? So I think we, being a technology company, we don't have supply chain problems, but problems we have are like this. And we have also stocked enough of these computers, these laptops, and all other things that are needed, so that if tomorrow there is another lockdown anywhere in the world, and wherever we have offices, we are able to support our employees.
Awesome. I think you rightly touched upon the employees. I would also ask some questions, how the trends are going on in the industry, Sanjay ji. For example, you talked about, first of all, as a CEO, you never anticipated this long journey, right? 1 year of Corona. So you might have a plan, right? A yearly plan. Hey, this will be my budget. These are my gross margins, and these are my EBITDAs for the year. So do you think, are they disturbed for this year? Or, you might have invested something which you have not anticipated for the year. One is, from the business point of view, are you okay for this year not making money? Second thing, from the employee standpoint, every employee is spending their home infrastructure right now. So tomorrow, what will happen to that? They will include in the package, or distribute that. So these are the two questions I wanted to ask from the
Sure,
employee.
sure. Good. All these are good questions. So I think, see, as I said earlier, majority of our employees happen to be in India, but like many companies like ours, which are in technology business, and India was shut down pretty much from like end of March till middle of May. So in June, in the first half of the year, we were not able to grow as a company, and we were, all the plans that we had, we as a company had been growing 20-30% every year, but those plans were kind of tabled. And we also asked all the employees that if they can forego any raises or incentives they were expecting in the first half, so that we can support more people in the company. If we are losing some project, or instead of letting someone go, we can support them, instead of giving raises to those, who are in the company or doing well. But in the second half, we saw a good uptick in our business.
Mm-hmm.
We, in fact, significant uptick we saw in our business. So we made sure now, end of the year, or recently we had holidays of Diwali in India and Thanksgiving here. We gave incentive to all the employees, and end of the year, everybody will get raises. Those who are entitled to get raises, they will all get raises. So we kind of went back to business as usual as far as that operation is concerned. As far as their packages are concerned, I mean, we are providing support to them. In fact, I mean, majority of our employees get hotspots, from us rather than using the internal infrastructure, right? And we are also asking all of them to, at times we send them vouchers to take their family out, or just kind of order food in, so that they can all have fun with their families, in lieu of things that they are using from their in-house infrastructure. So I think those are the things we are doing. And also we do regular meditation sessions for employees. We do regular physical activity, fitness. We have an MSIS fitness care club, and we are doing that because as a company, otherwise we used to do a lot of tournaments and a lot of these things to encourage employee interaction. We realize this, that people are not able to now be with other employees. And I myself, every once a month, I address all of them about something new, about something that I may have learned that I can share. I happen to be, I can say, the guy with the most gray hair in my company. So, and they don't mind hearing from hearing from me all these things. And I share with them that, that what they can do now, because, this pandemic has gone through various phases. In fact, that's one of the things I recently shared with everyone. And right now we are in the phase of boredom. If you see from, boredom, which is right after this will be the optimism, which hopefully with the vaccine coming and some positive results coming out of that will be that. And, will create some optimism for everyone, New Year's. Now we are in the phase of boredom where people really don't know what to do. Some people are going crazy about it. Some people are, and, initially, if you see, we kind of saw people didn't know what to do, and then came the phase of anger. And then came, there are various phases of epidemic, and now we are doing it this way. And then we make sure that based on the phase employees are in, we provide them with some tools to take care of themselves.
Awesome. I think good things, maybe not myself, the audience also heard about some of the vouchers, some of the meditation sessions, and you being into heartfulness, I'm sure that you will definitely have this across. So people working from home, there are a lot of stress, not only from the technology perspective and from the family, and also children. Children also are undergoing the same virtual this thing. So do you see any more depressions across your employees? Have you had a chance to look at it, and what is your thoughts from those?
Yeah, I think fortunately we haven't had such cases in our company, but we all know what is happening. I mean, even there are people around us committing suicide or just feeling depressed, and and all that. I mean, that has we hear that in the news all the time. There was a cartoon once I was reading that somebody is reading the newspaper and saying that, oh, it just came in the news that it was not the giant asteroid which killed the dinosaur, but it was a news of the giant asteroid coming that killed the dinosaur, which means that the stress that it was, of course, supposed to be a joke, that it is, news of these things actually can kill you more than the actual thing. And we all have seen that so many people are getting COVID and also recovering from COVID. Of course, in US, it's unfortunate the number of deaths are increasing and all, but in places like India, they are able to handle it in a in a much better way, I must say. And I think it is for us, each one of us, stress is a real thing. We
Exactly.
cannot deny that. And I think taking care of yourself on a daily basis, is the most important thing which each one of us can do for our families, for our societies, for our countries. So, and then taking care starts with the morning. I mean, many of us used to have a regular schedule, and now we are like in our pajamas, sitting at home, working from home every time, all the time, really, right? And I think if we start implementing a schedule, I think that will help us a lot. Implementing a schedule, that is the first step. And then in that schedule, incorporate things which take care of your physical health, incorporate things which take care of your mental, spiritual health. And that's where the exercise and things like meditation come in. If utilize these times, the time you're saving in commuting, right, utilize that time to learn some of these new things. If some people ask me, okay, what are the new habits I picked up? I was a very bad reader of books. I would always kind of read sites and newspapers and all these stuff, but reading books was always challenging for me. One habit I have picked up here is listening to books. I do go for long walks now. I mean, which I would earlier I would go for half an hour. Now, we go for hour and a half long. I mean, almost 4 or 5 mile walk we do every day. And we also started running. That's another habit I picked up, like 20, 30 minutes of running every day morning. And in the evening, we go for a long walk. In that long walk, I listen to audiobooks.
Wow.
And
I think that's good. That's good, Sanjay ji. Everyone are picking up during this pandemic in one way or the other way, as you said, running and reading books. So even myself has picked up health transformation, eating habits, and this show itself, to improve my skills
yes.
talking to great people. And on the other question on the same grounds, so people being remote today, is it productive for your company, and what's the trend you are listening from the company CEOs, other your peers?
I think for us and as well as all of our clients, it is actually quite productive.
Mhm.
With few hiccups here and there in technology business, I can say that across the board, I'm hearing that it is quite productive. It is pretty much business as usual. In fact, it is initial few months we had seen uptick in productivity. Then we saw a little bit of downturn because people were kind of, I am really missing being with other people and all that. And now companies figured out how to create engagement, right? And now it is kind of, I would say, in a stable state, which is higher than the other state, because people don't have to spend an hour or two in commuting every day, right?
That's
And people are realizing they are all creating their spaces at home, right? They know that it's going to be here for a good haul, right? And if they are learning new things out of this, they can learn new things out of it. They are picking up good eating habits like you did, right? And good cooking habits in many cases also, right?
exactly.
Right. And I mean, I would say if they are able to take care of their health, they'll be in a better mental state. If they are able to pick up things like meditation, they will be in a better spiritual state and be able to spend more productive time with their families, right? And I think if we look at the positive side of this negative situation, I think there's only upside. If those listeners who are not able to relate to it and all that, please reach out to people like Praveen or myself. We can help you.
Definitely, Sanjay ji. I think listening to you, people will inspire. And the other thing I wanted to develop is spiritual, like the meditation. That's I'm focusing on reading books. I'm also a bad reader of books, so I will also develop. Now listening to you, I'll practice that. Tell me what will happen, Sanjay ji, tomorrow. Let's say I'm working in US. I can go anywhere and work. Will that be a new norm tomorrow?
I mean, you're seeing those trends, Praveen. We're all seeing that. I mean, you see the housing market, despite unemployment rate being so high, the housing market is booming because people are looking for bigger houses, better spaces. So everybody is looking to change the space because working from home is become, people know that's become a good, in a big norm, a new norm. And many companies like Google or Microsoft and all that have already announced that this work from home is going to be forever, right?
Mm.
So people are saying, okay, many people in fact are moving away from large cities, away to outside to suburbs, and trying to find larger living spaces so that they can spend more time, quality time with their families and in their work. So that's, and we are seeing those trends, and those trends are here to stay,
How
right?
about international relocations? Would that be acceptable?
See, right now, since the cases being this high,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it is a bit challenging right now. You know, I myself, I would have loved to make, I mean, in this much time from March till now, I would have made 3 trips to India this year. I mean, I used to go every quarter, right? I haven't, I'm just holding tight here, right? Because why create risk for yourself and your families unless it's needed, right? So international relocation for many reasons right now has not picked up because of restrictions like this. I mean, New Zealand and Australia still have, you know, not allowing people to come in and all. But as we get vaccine, people get vaccinated. I'm waiting for that. I get vaccinated, and next, month I'm going to take flight to India.
To
Right?
India.
So, and I think people are going to, I mean, relocate internationally too. But I think for that we'll have to wait some more time.
Yeah.
And but domestic relocation is happening. People from East Coast moving to West Coast. Many people, they were saying, out of all the places in Utah, the real estate is going up because many Californians who are moving back to their hometowns, they say, why do I need to be in California, pay high taxes? Let me move to Texas or Utah. Right?
Exactly. I heard the same thing on the Utah. So what will happen? Is it a good move, Sanjay ji, from your end? If people are moving from one state to other states, what will happen? Is it a
No,
good sign or bad sign?
I think it's a good sign. It's a good sign. See, I think all this consolidation around one large city, right? I mean, whether it be San Francisco or New York or Atlanta, right? Had created, I would say, some taxing. I mean, it created some strain on the infrastructure in those cities. I mean, the traffic, we know, like, going
Exactly.
into Atlanta is always bad. I'm sure LA is worst, and San Francisco, New York City, and all. Now, first of all, I mean, if this kind of thing will relieve the stress on traffic, on the roads, on other infrastructure that gets used along, right? They're saying that in many cities, this is the first time people are seeing the sun. People are seeing the clear air. I mean, I can say little less about US cities, but more about cities outside, right?
Mhm.
I mean, they had not had clean air of this kind forever, for ages, right? Now they're all having. So see how many benefits it has created, this, right? Less traffic, less emissions, less traffic on the road. I mean, there's so many things that positives have come out of this, and hopefully, if people can learn positive things out of this, better bonds with your family. Right?
Exactly. I think already you see the bonding has increased because of the coronavirus. If you talk about India, people are going remotely into their villages, staying with their parents, and then working. They're really enjoying. Some people are really enjoying this moment. I wish that this will continue for all the companies. And in these lines, for example, startups. what are your suggestions to a startup entrepreneur? How do we plan for our business continuity? See, earlier they might have put liquidity reserves for 6 months or 1 year, but now seeing this kind of viruses will come in future, what would be your suggestion to be in a preparedness state?
See, one thing I can always, I always am very fond of is that these times create newer opportunities to pivot your business,
Okay.
right? And that is for any startup. I mean, in fact, one of the startup in North Carolina that I'm an investor in, and they had a manufacturing floor to manufacture, let's say, item X.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the pandemic started, they felt their same manufacturing floor can prepare PPEs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now they are one of the largest supplier of PPEs in Southeast,
Wow.
and they are doing very well. So why I'm sharing this with you is it's not just about, for startup entrepreneurs, not just about liquidity, but it's also about that the business the business opportunity that such downtimes create, right? And they should look at this to see newer opportunities and pivot their business. See, a large company cannot pivot the business, small company can easily pivot the business,
That's
right?
true. That's
And
true.
if they can leverage those opportunities, it will automatically create liquidity for them, right? And in the worst case where they are not able to, or even if they are able to, they are not able to create more liquid cash for, or coming into them, I think they have to hang in there. In many cases, I myself in my startup life faced situation where we put the companies in cryogenic freeze meaning that just take the minimum out of the company till situation improves. There are
Exactly.
many sectors which are seeing that, not just startups, even mature companies are seeing that, right? They're
Yes.
keeping themselves below the threshold so that they can conserve cash and then come out as a winner on the other side of this virus.
Exactly. So another one I would love to ask you, Sanjay ji. One is digitalization, right? During this COVID times, crisis times, digitalization has really played a great role, not only from the business point of view, from the educational perspective, from number of things and the infrastructure. So have you made any investments or new transformations in your company in these grounds?
Yeah, see, we are in the business of helping other companies to implement digital transformation. That is one of our business units.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that not only in our own company, but also in other companies who are our clients, right? And we are seeing that, see, digital transformation thing was happening even before pandemic, but pandemic has accelerated that cycle now, right? In pandemic, if somebody were thinking I'll do it 2 years, the next 5 years, I think now needed now, right now, right? Like for example, I'll tell you in our own case, I shared with you earlier that we have this hoteling option in our facilities that people can choose when they want to go in. They can book the space, as
Wow.
an example, right? And I mean, we were not thinking about that at all. I mean, we were in fact thinking about expanding our office footprint. Now we're saying no need to renew the leases on in certain cities. Instead, give people this and hire more people so that we can accommodate more people in the smaller office, right? And these are, to me, this is kind of, as a company, this is one thing which we have done. Other thing which we have done is how do we increase employee engagement through different means. We have implemented various kind of softwares. People can, I mean, we are, I mean, not a manufacturing unit, but we are a unit where people can use now technology to ask for certain things, get certain benefits, all the benefits package they can look at. I mean, all these things were not there in our company before. We made sure all these things are now implemented because they don't have to call somebody. They're not going to office. Earlier people would go to office and ask HR. Now all these things are there. Hiring, we are streamlining hiring. That's now next thing. People can online apply for tests, apply for the job and take a test. If they score, they automatically will be called for interviews.
Wow.
As an example, these kind of things we are doing in our company, which actually I will not say we have preponed, but we never thought about these things. Now we're implementing.
Awesome. So Sanjay, did you ever think of cost reduction in future? because if this kind of crisis comes, when I talk about cost reduction, it's not only eliminating the resources, but also your business continuity, right? I mean to say automation initiatives, right? Without human interaction intervention. Are you did you think are you seeing in the industries where they are moving, investing on the automation tools to
Yes.
make it more faster? So which areas
See,
you
I feel it is going to happen everywhere. You know, automation or contactless work,
hmm?
right, is here to stay, whether people like it or don't like it. And it is not only in these things, in factory automation, in like, we all go to these grocery stores, and these days, most of the people prefer to use those, automated counters where you can, scan your produce yourself, right? And,
That,
Amazon has been practicing where there's no person. You can pick up the item, right? You pick up the item and automatically it just charges to your Amazon Prime account. you know,
exactly.
because these all kinds of things are here to stay, right? And this is something that is going to happen. We are doing that a lot. We are seeing our clients are doing that a lot, more and more. Now, next few years, automation will be the name of the game.
Okay. I know that we are ending the 30 minutes time, and I would like to ask few questions on the CEOs. Like, so whenever you are attending in your CEO meets or anything, what are the top 5 initiatives all the CEOs are looking at during the crisis and after the crisis?
I think what we fortunately, I think I would say the people that I hang out with, they all are always positively concerned about their employees, right? And then they're, looking at what are the things they can do to keep their employees motivated. Because
Okay,
employee motivation, one problem that it is creating, all this situation is creating, you're not in front of them or they are not in front of you. So we don't know what they're doing, what they're going through, what they're thinking, unless they tell you,
exactly.
right? And that has created a big gap, you can say,
FaceTime. Yeah,
face time. And I think in that face time, people are trying various ways to fill that face time. And I would share with you, in one of our projects, one employee was hired and the manager was not even able to reach him, right? And we didn't know, we're not able to reach him because his health is not good, right? I'm just taking that as an example, or because he doesn't want to, or he just kind of ran away or whatever, right? But
yes.
later on, fortunately, we found, or unfortunately, we found his family members all had COVID.
Wow.
But lack of the face time, right? Not knowing that person, or not knowing that, created a big information gap. We were actually had initiated process to let him go, but then once we found that out, we just helped him, right? And these are, how do we create that replacement for lack of face time? That is a very, very important thing all CEOs are thinking about. And supply chain, in some cases, people are uh, in kind of manufacturing business. How do you ensure your supply chain is always there, right? Now many people are thinking about, of course, they were dependent a lot on China. They are thinking about China plus one strategy, and with India as other destination for manufacturing units, right? And that's a very positive thing, that India has also welcomed many of these industries now. And people do need to start thinking about these things, that so that you're not dependent on one geography or one place to do everything, right? And then that diversification is essential, and that's what many of us are thinking about.
Exactly. So, what do you think the change in the government, pandemic, and unemployment, highest unemployment? I know that it is still 12 million we could reach, but still there is 12 to 14 million of unemployment in US and across in India as well. So, what is it going to be in the next 2 3 months once the new government forms in US? Is it going to be an impact?
Of course. See, without talking about any party and all that, US has been the laggard in in taking care of corona. We have had no leadership right from day one in taking care of this situation. And if nothing can be worse than what we have currently. Let me put it this way.
Exactly.
And I think with the change, at least we will have some leadership. And now, of course, time will tell us it's good or not, but having leadership, people in times like these, people look up to leaders. Like you talked about our company. Whenever this happened, I immediately address all the employees because people don't know. No, lack of information is like misinformation,
I
right?
agree.
And having leadership at the right places to be able to take care of this situation, whether it is vaccine distribution or telling people what to do, what not to do, that is very essential. And then I'm hoping and I'm wishing that this will happen with the new government and unemployment rate will be taken care of with that. Because, once somebody asked me, do you think economy will come back? Economy will certainly come back with a big bang. And the reason is human urge. See, we as humans, we are used to certain level of consumption.
Exactly.
They're just waiting, man. Why economy is, economy, stock market still continues to do well. That's the reason, because as humans, we are used to now this level of consumption. We, as soon as things open up, we want to. And we want to all go on vacations. In fact, we want to go on more vacations. Right?
Exactly.
And we don't mind paying for it now because it's like we have been waiting for it, but the environment for that has to be created,
I know.
right?
Yeah. Let's hope for the best, Sanjay ji. Last topic before we open up for your final comments. That would be M&As. As a CEOs, do you think the M&As are good at this juncture?
Oh, wonderful. We as a company, we grow every year, I would say to some degree organically and other degree inorganically by acquiring other companies. Usually we look at one company at a time. Now we are looking at four, because
Wow.
obviously people who are not able to pivot or for various reasons, right, for certain industries are slowing down and all that, and that is creating great M&A opportunities. So we are looking very actively at those things from our side as a company.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sanjay ji, for your time. And before we close the session, I just wanted to give your final comments, especially the viewers in the viewership. What I look at it, they are either the employees or the upcoming startups or the entrepreneurs in the viewership, if I were to look at it. So, what would be your suggestion as related to our topic? How do they ensure themselves and also the business continuity even today and after the crisis? So, if you talk about the employees, they're upskilling, right? If you talk about the entrepreneurship, how do they plan all those things? What would be your suggestion?
See, I would like to suggest, first of all, to everyone, let not this crisis go waste in your life. And this is a great opportunity it has created. And also, don't be down about it. There is a big sun waiting at the end of the tunnel. See, let's be hopeful, right? And I think one thing which you very rightly brought up now, I forgot to mention, that was skilling. We actually have a very active division in the company called MSIS Training, and we have MSIS Training is working towards skilling all of our employees internally and also offers training to outside people. Now, this is an opportunity for employees to skill themselves, learn new things, but most of all, take care of your families and yourself. That is the single most important thing that you can do. And for employers, look at newer opportunities that what you have in your companies can create. Newer opportunities that are created by this pandemic that you can manage. I already gave the example of a manufacturing unit, switching to PPE manufacturing and doing very well, right? And like that, there may be so many opportunities out there waiting for you. And I think if you just मैं बैठ गया कुछ नहीं हो रहा type thing, I don't know I don't know when it's going to go away. No, it will go away when you want it to go away for you. At the end, it always depends on you, not on anybody else.
Awesome. Awesome, Sanjay ji. And I also see some positive things from you on the Segel notes, and also you talking about some multitasking things as well. So why don't you throw some light on them?
See, growing up like many of the listeners here or viewers, I came from India and came to US, and then we kind of always used to thrive by multitasking. I'm doing this, I'm doing that at the same time, right? And one thing which pandemic has taught me is that how monomaniacal, single-mindedness, right, helps you. And if you're doing one thing, like I'm talking to you all, I can focus on this, right, properly, and my productivity will be a lot more. So if all of you, even though we talked about doing multiple things, but do one thing at a time, so that you can enjoy that more.
Awesome. Thank you. This is the end of this insight with Praveen Puraman, especially with our guest Sanjay Sehgal. So we have learned a lot of good things from him, especially on the upskilling, and also what are the industry trends. And we this is a small effort, to bring some knowledge from the great leaders to you all. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. And if you need any more good topics, please feel free to reach out to me. And we will have like Sanjay ji, great leaders coming here and sharing their thoughts, which will be very beneficial for everyone. And please to continue